if you're sitting there looking at me thinking, what is this doing? Then, I mean, same. Hi guys, it's Ali. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be reviewing, swatching, and doing a little bit of an application of the new Huda Beauty Naughty Nude palette. So if you guys do want to see how this wears, how it swatches, my general opinion of it, then go ahead and keep on watching. So today is November 2nd. This literally was released yesterday and I have it in my hands one day after the release. So I'm hyped. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm on this Huda Beauty train, but when I saw this palette, the colors, they sent me somewhere. I don't have a lot of Huda Beauty's palettes, but this one definitely spoke to me. I loved pretty much every single shade that I saw. There are some that I'm a little bit wary of, but we are going to see how they swatch. I am excited though. So a little bit of background on the palette. It is a £48 palette on the Huda Beauty website. If you are in the UK and you do choose to shop on Boots, Harvey Nichols or Cult Beauty, it is going to cost you £58. I'm not sure why there's that difference in the price. I literally have no idea. I think I'm chalking it down to shipping or something like that. But you know me, I don't really pay full price for anything that I buy. I had a discount code. Sis, I don't know, £58, it seemed, I don't know, but I did have a discount code, so I did pay less than that for the palette, but for general retail price, it is £58. So this is what the packaging looks like. I did try and match it with the outfit and the makeup a little bit today, you know, I just felt a little bit spicy or something, you know, I thought I'd do something. I have already opened it and I'm literally so impressed with this palette. So this is what the shades look like. It is absolutely stunning. We do have a couple of different formulas on here. So we have 8 velvety soft mattes, 5 high shine metallics, 3 multi-reflective marble creams, 1 hypnotic marble cream, and then we have this one glossy shade over here. So it's kind of pearly. It's got these little bubbles in it that have this iridescence to them. So I'm also excited to try out this shade and see what the tea is on that slippery shade. But this is what the palette looks like. I'm not going to waste any time. We're going to go ahead and get straight into the swatches. I've decided that I'm going to swatch this according to the formula type. So we are going to go mattes, metallics, marbles, creams, etc. So let's get straight into these matte shades. So the first shade we have is Filthy. Then we have Hypnotic, Untamed, Rough, Spicy, Arouse, Naughty. So these are all of the matte shades. They are super velvety to the touch. They literally are exactly as they are described. These felt so soft and the pigment on them looks really good. It looks like they'll be very good mattes to work with. I am quite impressed with how creamy and soft the formula is. There are some shades in here that don't really look like my cup of tea. I think it's literally just the first two. Every other shade to me is workable and I really like actually. I do wish there were a bit more brown shades in here. The ones that we've got kind of pull a little reddy or a little orangey. If we had a bit more of a true brown. I think Naughty is as close as we get, but even then it feels a bit maroony. But overall, I think those are decent matte shades. I'm going to go ahead and go into the metallics next. And the first one we have is just this pinky metallic and it is called Shameless. Then we have Please Me, Irresistible, Tantric, and finally we have the shade Desire. So there are the metallics. Honestly, these felt just as creamy as the mattes. These are absolutely stunning. If you guys have watched my channel for a while, you know that I'm very particular about how I like shimmery shades. And this is the exact formula that I absolutely love. When I speak of other palettes like the Tammy Clark palette or the Patricia Bright palette, this is that same creamy, soft, cushiony formula that I just can't get enough of. Like, I'm literally obsessed. I already know that I'm going to be featuring 2 of these shades in this eye look. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but now that I've swatched this, they do look very foily as well. I'm not sure if anyone else is picking up on that, but I do get a very foily vibe off of the shimmers. So far we've got the mattes and the shimmers. I'm not sure what else I can fit on this same arm. Maybe we're going to go into the 3 marble shades. In the palette there are what look like 4 different marble shades, but one of them is different. So I believe Hard has got a different formula to the other 3. So I'm going to do those 3 first, and then I'll swatch Hard on its own, just so you guys have a better idea of the differences between those. So the first marble cream we have is Passion. Then we have Flower Power. And finally we've got Provocative. So those 3 at the bottom there are the 3 cream marble shades. I think I like every shade but Flower Power. Flower Power isn't really my kind of vibe. I really do like Passion and that sort of bluey purple shift it has going on. And I think Provocative has potential to be a really, really nice shade as well. That's really, really nice. I think out of all of the formulas that I've swatched so far, these ones have the best one. This formula isn't as crumbly as the other 2 were. I don't have a lot of fallout when I swatch the marble cream shades. So I do really like that about them, because they are still super pigmented without having all of that fallout. But I am going to go ahead and swatch the marble shade that is a little bit different. So this one is the Hypnotic Marble, and it is in the shade Hard. So I am going to swatch it next to the other 3 and see what's different about it. So there's Hard. Okay, so it is a very, very dark shade, and it is a matte shade. So this is a matte brown, but it's got a different formula to the other mattes. So this is 17 of the 18 shades swatched on my arm right now. I feel like that bluey purple Passion, it looks a little bit out of place, honestly, when you look at it on my arm. In the palette, it fits right in, but over here, it's just like a random blue. But anyway, I am going to swatch the final shade now. I think it's only fitting that it does sort of get its own swatch on a different arm, because it is rather abnormal looking, I want to say. So it kind of looks like this clear jelly with a bunch of bubbles in it, but it is called Slippery, and we are going to go ahead and see how this shade swatches. So that is what it looks like on my finger. It looks like an orangey gold type color, but I have seen it swatched before, so I know that's not quite what it's going to be. So it's like a pinky type color. I am going to build it up a little bit more just so you guys can see. Okay, so that is the shade Slippery. Honestly, I don't really know how much of a fan I am of this formula. I don't know if I like it. I feel like it's a bit sheer for an all over the eye type color. I think it might need to go on top of another shade or something like that. But yeah, how it feels to me though is, you know, when we were younger and we had those like phones that had little lip gloss palettes in them with that really crappy brush, that's how it feels to me in the pan. It's got that kind of formula. These are all of the shades. So far I am actually really, really impressed, and I'm super excited to have a go and play around with some of these shades, because they feel really, really nice to touch, which is just, it's a plus, it's a bonus, 100%. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick little look for you guys. I have already primed my lid with my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, but I am going to see what I can pull together really quickly, just because I do want you guys to see how the shades sort of blend out and things like that, and how the different formulas sort of perform. So hopefully I do manage to pull something together. I think the shade that is calling me the most right now for sort of an all over the lid shade is this shade Arouse, which is a light type brown. So I'm literally going to use this and sort of blow it out on my lid. I'm going to start in the crease. I literally just realized how pigmented this palette is, so I'm going to go ahead and set my under eye with a powder, and then I'm going to come back and continue because having to redo my makeup would just be long, okay? Long. The pigment is absolutely insane. I'm a little hype. I'm a little hype. I don't know what is going on with Huda Beauty lately, but I feel like I'm being converted into a Huda Beauty stan. Like, I just didn't want to go down that avenue. I really didn't. But I can't deny a quality product when I see one. And I am so impressed with this color. I think the thing that I really like about this palette is that it appeals to that sort of sultry, sexy side of a person, but it's also a very, very wearable palette as well. Like, it's not just about that. Yes, it's naughty nude, but you can be cute too. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the look that I do will probably end up looking really, really like cutesy, but that's just sort of my vibe. Now I'm taking this deep brown shade here called Naughty, and I'm gonna deepen my outer V area with this shade gently. And I'm just gonna pack this on to that outer V area just so we can get some depth to the look. I'm literally winging it right now, so if you're sitting there looking at me thinking, what is this doing? Then, I mean, same, because I'm literally just going with the flow right now. I'm not really good at going with the flow. I usually have a look in mind before I sit down and start filming, but not today. Evidently. This feels like such an effortless palette, and honestly using it and looking at the color story as well, I do feel like it's a palette that you can kind of see yourself reaching for quite a lot. I have seen a couple people comparing this to the mini nude palettes that Huda Beauty has. I don't have any of those, but I think the gist that I got from the video that I watched was that if you have like all three of those palettes, then you kind of don't need this one, because the shades are fairly similar. If you're like me and you have none of those palettes, then I would definitely say get this, because it feels like a dream to work with. And I have had Huda Beauty palettes before. I had the Warm Obsessions and the Mauve Obsessions palette, I think it was. Or was it Warm Brown Obsessions? Something like that. I think the OG mini palettes that came out in like 2017, I had those. And now I'm back in with Aroused, making sure that we don't lose that color. I'm fairly content with that, but I am going to be a little sneaky. I'm going to deepen it up just a little bit further, a little bit. And I'm going to go in with this shade Spicy. It's a little bit on the burgundy side. Oh, actually, do I want to go in with Untamed? Okay, scratch that. We're not going in with Spicy. I'm going to go in with Untamed. And it's this sort of burgundy brownie color. Yeah. And I'm just going to add a little bit of this shade just to get a little bit more depth than I've already got. Just a tad. I am going to go in with two different shimmery shades on either eye, because I just want to see. When I was swatching them, these two shades, they spoke to me. So I am going to go in with, I think, my favorite shade in the palette, and it is this shade here, Desire. And I'm literally using my finger to apply this shade. This one is one of the ones that looks really, really foily. So I'm hoping, guys. Okay. I'm not too keen. I think I've just put too much on, but it's got this sort of foily, tinfoil looking vibe to it, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I'm gonna try and disperse that out as much as I can. I think it works well with the colors that I've put on the eye. I think it works quite well. Okay. You know what? I don't think that looks half bad. I think that's kind of cute actually. Apart from the whole foily vibe that we're getting, I like it. And the next shade that I'm going to use is Tantric, which is another shimmery shade. I'm going to try not to use as much so I don't get that foily vibe. I really just wanted to go into this shade and see how it would look. It's a little on the champagne side for me. I would have preferred if it was more on the gold side. Maybe I should have gone in with Please Me. Let's have a look. No, Please Me is a bit... Please Me... Oh, where is it? Please Me is a bit champagne-y. Like, I want a gold. Maybe Flower Power? No. Okay, we're gonna have to stick with Tantric. It's the best that I can do in terms of the look that I want. I feel like this one is a lot messier than the first shade that we used. I don't know if it's because I've used less product so it's a bit more sheer, but I am gonna try and sort of blend out some of that. Okay, yeah, that's very messy. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of Shameless and see if this can't help how this side looks a little bit. So I'm mixing in some of the Shameless shade into this shade Tantric. Okay, yeah, no, this is just a disaster eye at this point. I don't know what is going on with this eye. We're gonna have to ignore it and just pretend it does not exist, because I don't know why it's malfunctioning like that. If you have the patience for all of this glitter, then it is a shade that you can probably make work, but I have had just about enough of that. That's enough for me. So this is where we are with the look. I'm gonna go ahead and use the mascara and liner from the Huda Beauty set of one. What do you even call this? So this is just the mascara and liner duo pack that I picked up with my order. Okay, we've done a matte formula and we've done a shimmery formula. I think we'll go into the marble formula next, and this is what I'm going to use for the lower lash on both eyes. So on the side where we have Desire as our main, I am going to use this shade here, Provocative, and hopefully this is going to complement the eye look. If it doesn't, then that's my bad. Okay, it's definitely a lot more on the glitter side than I remembered. So I am going to mix it with some of that Untamed shade, which is just that matte burgundy that we had going on before. You know what? I like that. I like that a fair amount. And for the other eye where we've got Tantric as our main, I am going to go in with this shade Flower Power. And I think I'm going to mix it in with this shade right next to it, Rough, just so it's not as just glitter. So we are going to go ahead and see how that looks. Oh, okay. I'm not mad at that. It's kind of cute. But I think Rough is taking away from this shade a little bit. So I am just going to focus solely on using the shade Flower Power. You know what? All the shades I'm using on this eye are looking dusty. And it's really vexing me now. Okay. That's just gonna have to do. No, I want something richer. Let's try the other marble hard. So this is, I think, the 4th formula that we've tried on the eye today. Okay, this one doesn't really have a color to it really on the under eye. It's sort of muting everything out, so I don't like that. So we're gonna have to take it back to the basics and literally just make it a mixture of naughty and aroused, because I give up. I give up on this eye actually. It's a lot. It's a lot. So we've used the Hypnotic Marble, the matte, the shimmery, and the sort of other marble with the shimmers in. So that's 4, I think. I think the only formula left to use is this one, which is Slippery. So I'm going to try and build it up on my brush, and hopefully we can get some color out of it. And this is what I'm going to use for the inner corner. Okay, no, I really don't like the formula of this. It's too glossy. Yeah, I don't think it works as an inner corner shade, if I'm completely honest. Like, it looks okay, but I feel like it's separating my makeup in that area. So we're not gonna roll with that. I think I'm just gonna go with Irresistible, which is just a sort of rose goldy type pink. And that's the shade that I'm gonna take into the inner corner. To be honest, I guess that Slippery shade worked as a sort of primer for the inner corner color, because that has literally stuck on beautifully. And I kind of went overboard a little bit. Okay, this was a little bit shambolic, I'm not gonna lie. This video was a lot, but I did manage to use all of the formulas, and I think the eye looks aren't bad. I do really like this one, apart from the excessive inner corner that I'm just gonna sort of tame down a little bit with my finger. But yeah, you know what, even this eye isn't that bad when I'm looking at it. Like, she's kind of cute, she's kind of a mood, she is, I ain't gonna lie to you. This is definitely what happens when I literally just sit in front of a camera and let my creative juices flow. Things kind of get chaotic, but I did have a really good time using this palette. The formulas are absolutely breathtaking. I'm not too sure what happened with the shade Tantric. I don't know if this is just my palette or if it's a universal thing, but it definitely doesn't strike me as having the same formula as Desire. Desire seems like a more workable shade. I don't know if I'm tripping or what, but you guys saw me apply the product, so you can make your own decisions about that. I right now can say that I will get a lot of use out of this palette. I think because of how high quality the shadows are, I can sort of justify the price for this palette, and I think it's absolutely wearable. Like, look at all the different shades that we have in here. There are definitely some daytime shades, some nighttime shades, some cute little looks, something deeper, more sultry. Overall, I'm gonna say I like this palette. I am. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much all that I have to say on this palette. If you guys do have any questions, just drop them in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning into my channel again. Be sure to hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you aren't subscribed already. And I'll see you guys in my next video.